Leaving the UK was the number one best thing that I have done for my business, for my personal relationships, and for my general happiness in life. Now, you might be in the UK and you might be thinking, this guy's full of it. Well, that's fine. Maybe this video isn't for you, but this is going out to the people who want to make something of themselves. They want to build potentially an online business, an online career, and they might be a little bit tired of the UK. Now, the first thing that I did when I left the UK was I actually left because I had a job, right? And I did that job in the Middle East and I stayed for many years. And I essentially made the same amount of money that I would have made in the UK, except I didn't pay any tax. So in fact, I was making twice as much money. Now, because of that doubling of the money, I had more supplementary income, right? And in 2017, because I had that supplementary income, I did something that was kind of crazy at the time, but I bought Bitcoin, right? I bought Bitcoin and I thought I was a genius, an absolute genius, like pretty much everyone in 2017. And I put about a $3,000 investment. I turned it into $75,000. I then proceeded in 2018 to lose all of it. But that's beside the point, right? Now I've made a lot more than that in crypto, but being outside of the UK meant that I had more money to invest, not only in my investments, but also into myself. So having this extra money I could use to build an e-commerce brand that went on to make me £100,000 in a year. That was incredible, right? And having that extra income would never have really been possible in the UK. Now, yes, lower taxes are one thing. And the amount of tax that you have to pay, I believe, in the UK, given the situation in cities like London, I think it's pretty dire at the moment in London. And I just think that paying that amount of tax towards, a place that's pretty crap to live in my opinion. There's so much crime. The weather's bad. Everyone's opinion on entrepreneurs is terrible. But the fact that I was paying low tax is just one side of the things. I touched out a minute on people's opinions, right? And it's so sad to, realize this in my thought process, but people in the UK, for the most part, right, they don't actually want you to win. And they're not basically going out of their way to support their friends, support people who are trying, right, trying to break out of the status quo. But what you'll find in places like Bali, places like Cyprus, places like Dubai, places like Vietnam, Da Nang, Thailand, where you have these hubs of entrepreneurs, right? If you go out and find them, you'll find that people support you and they want the best for you. I'm not saying there isn't people in the UK that want the best for you, but anyone who's in the UK, I'm sure you can resonate with what I'm saying. The general consensus is that people who try are cringe, right? And it's just kind of sad, right? Also, of course, one of the best things that I got from leaving the UK was I met my partner. She's Australian, and that opened up the whole world, right? We have an amazing life now where we live all over the world and we can travel all over the world and we have family all over the world, and it's absolutely incredible. And it just really opens your whole world up once you leave. So if you're considering leaving, what I would say is apply for a bunch of jobs in a bunch of different countries. Also, if you don't want to do that, maybe apply for a bunch of jobs online. Maybe contact social media influencers or brands that you appreciate and you enjoy and see if you can score a job with them. And in that way, you can work remotely anywhere you choose. And then you can see what life is like outside of the UK and see how fruitful it can actually be. And if you have any questions about my experience or what I think is the best way to go about it or what I've personally done, then leave me a comment down there in the comment section. And hopefully I'll be able to respond to each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.